Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Great Awakening Generator with me, your host, Rose McNair. And today I have Robyn Gordon with me from Athenry, Waihi Beach in New Zealand. Hello, Robyn.
Hello, Rose, and it's wonderful to be here and just such a golden opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being so open to coming onto the channel and talking about the subject we're going to talk about today. And I really appreciate that you're so open to it. And I love your energy and I love your heart, because in the little bit of conversation we've had, I can feel that you have a great heart, a great platform of love for humanity.
Thank you.
So, Robyn, I'll just say at the beginning, I am glad that I introduced you from Athenry, Waihi Beach, because I know the reason we did that was because that's where you are and that's where you can be contacted. Usually we ask people to say, well, what is the name of your business? And so they tell us. But when I asked you about your business, what did you say about that? You were saying something different from what the ordinary person would say.
I say I don't have a business as such because I'm not here to be a business. I'm here just to serve people, and I'm here for people. If they need help, I can help them. So I do still charge, because if I'm using my energy, we need an energy exchange.
Yes.
But that being that, it's not because I'm here to earn money. It's because I'm here to look after people, and I'm here to give the opportunity.
Yes, yes, indeed. So that just brings up another question, which I've written here down for myself, so I don't forget to ask you about before we conclude today's interview. So today we are talking about Auric Magnetic Healing. And I said magnetic healing to you, Robyn, and you said, actually, it's Auric Magnetic Healing. Tell me why.
In the beginning, when it was magnetic healing, when Colin Lambert found this or created this healing, he just called it magnetic healing. But so many people got confused thinking we were using magnets.
Okay.
But one of the parts that we do, I was listening to Pam Gregory the other day, and she was saying that all energy begins with being out in the auric field, and as our thoughts and our wishes and our intentions are all out in the ether, and
Yes.
then they gradually come into the physical body. And so when we're working on a patient, we start out here and we can feel the energy fields out here, and if there's something out here, we can clear it out in the ether before it gets to the physical body, and it's much easier to take it out before it gets made into physical.
Yes,
so that's hence the auric got added to it to differentiate it from magnets.
Okay, that's great. It's nice to have that clarity there, because I mean, people sometimes when you're under a misconception of something, you can develop so many resistances to that, right? So it's
the term magnetic came from the fact that the positive and negatives, every atom or every cell has a positive and negative. Yes. And when our body is in good health, from our toes to the top of our head, is all in positive. And if one of your cells or a group of cells flips into negative, it's out of phase, and it's a bit like an electric current. We just pull it back into positive,
yes,
and we're back in alignment again. So it's such a simple concept.
Okay.
Of just aligning the body with the positives.
Okay. So now that you've explained something of it, tell us, what is Auric Magnetic Healing?
Well, in the words of Colin Lambert, it is the most simple thing to do. And by just aligning the cells in your body into a positive line, like having a good electric current,
yes,
the body works properly. But the part I like best about magnetic healing is that we clean the blood as a separate entity, because our blood vibrates at a different energy or different rate to the rest of our body. Okay. So the first thing we do is clean blood, and it's such a gift to be able to offer a person who's going into surgery a blood cleansing before they go in, so that their blood's in the best condition before they go for surgery. Or after they've had surgery, I can say, give me 2 or 3 days, and then I'll come in and I'll clean your blood again and take all the anesthetic out.
Okay.
So that the body can recover so much faster.
Wow.
And it's incredible how people find that they heal so much better.
Okay.
And I think the beauty of that is that I don't have to have the person physically in my room.
Okay.
I can do absent healings or remote healings,
Okay.
where I just call the etheric body in, and whatever happens in your etheric body also happens in your physical body, going back to the Kabbalah, where as above, so below.
Yes.
So
Yes.
whatever we work in the etheric field
Yes.
also happens within the physical field. And that's something that we have no way of relating to, because we never talk about it normally. But it's just a beautiful thing that I can pull people in. I often pull my grandchildren from America in when they're not well, and I just give them a healing and then send them home again. Or, you know, other people. I think one of my first big breakthroughs was I had a friend whose brother in Saskatchewan, Canada, was hurt in a rodeo accident, and he was not supposed to be able to walk again. And she flew across to be with him, and so I was in contact with her. So each night I would just pull him in and just clean his blood. And one day I messaged and sort of said, what happened to his right arm today? He had something happen. Has he got one of those Portmans put in? And she said, how the hell did you know that? And I said, well, I found it. So, you know, it was really, for me, a great learning curve. And the other thing was that he wasn't physically in my healing room, but when I went to go to bed, my husband said, get out, you smell, go and have a shower, please. And all that I was pulling out of his body was sticking to me.
Okay.
And my husband said, no, you can't come to bed like that. So that was your validation that the work I was doing was real.
Yeah.
And the fact that that man can now walk is amazing. Yeah.
It's just popped into my head. Magnetic healing, pulling something to you, magnetizing magnetizing someone to you, healing them, cleansing the blood, doing what you need, and then sending them back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. That's quite fascinating. That's freaky too.
Yes, it is. It's a whole mindset on its own.
Yes.
And it's, you know, one of the dreams of Colin Lambert was that it would be recognized by the medical field.
Yes.
And there are quite a few nurses now who use magnetic healing within the hospital as an added tool that they've got. So
wow.
It has gradually been accepted that it is complementary. It's not an either or. It can work with, as I say, if someone's going to have an operation, I can help prepare them and I can help them, cleanse afterwards.
Yes, yes. Wow, that's something amazing to know that it can be used in the mainstream is using it to a degree, allowing it.
Lots of nurses.
Yeah, because it's important. It's important that we see that there's equal value in what they deem alternative and what has been deemed as always been clinical or medical.
Yeah.
Just having a drink of water. Okay. So how do you I guess I will have to ask, I know you told us how it helps. Tell us again. Tell us how you would help somebody. What sort of people what sort of people look for this kind of healing?
A lot of people who are not having success in the medical field.
Yes. Or
people who don't want to take more drugs, just sort of are looking for alternatives.
Yes.
I had a couple come last week. The wife was just out of sorts, and through the last 2 years she's got very depressed. They moved, she had no friends, she couldn't socialize, and she was really just, she said she was suicidal at times.
Okay.
And so just working with her and just pulling out all the stuff and realigning things and getting everything back in line, she's just feeling so much better. But her husband had all the joints ache. He's got all the sort of pain, the getting old things.
Yes.
And he was being frustrated that he couldn't do the things he wanted. So he came in, and I just keep contact and sort of say, how is he feeling? And she said, he's able to do so much more and he's not having the pain he was having.
Okay.
So, like that. And then I've got another friend whose partner was in hospital having surgery and had a stroke. So I've been helping there and just cleaning out the blood and just lining things up and finding the areas that the body are telling me need help and just working on those and helping.
So it's a lot. I'm hearing it's people that are feeling unwell, physically unwell, that could benefit from this.
Yeah.
So is it very much a physical, is it about physical unwellness? that people come to you
Mostly.
mostly?
Yes, mostly.
Could
Mostly
anybody?
people in pain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a pain. It really helps where pain is concerned.
Yeah. There's a lovely action that we call the pain drain. And
Okay.
it's a bit like siphoning petrol. I can put my hand on the area where the pain is, and then I just put the other hand lower down and draw all the pain out through my hand and pour it onto the ground down below here.
Okay.
And people can't believe it, but the pain actually just drains away.
Wow.
And so, you know, and these are things that anyone can do, so long as you have the intention.
Okay.
Okay.
So I come to this. Are there protocols for anybody who wants this kind of healing? Like, do you have to get their permission to do that kind of healing for them?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I can only work with someone who gives their permission. And if they want it absently, I need their address, because there might be 3 people with the same name, but there's only one person with that name that lives at that address.
Yes.
So
okay.
I know I'm getting the right person.
Yes.
And even if that person is in hospital, they still are recognised by their home address.
Yeah.
So things like that. And would you like me to give you a demonstration?
Definitely. You're going to give us a demonstration, right?
So,
okay. So we'll talk through this, and then.
Right. So the person lies on my massage table.
Yes.
And they keep their clothes on, and I don't touch them.
Okay.
So I'm still working in their ether, whether they're present or not present.
Okay.
And at that point in time, I start, and I've got, for me, when I learned, I didn't feel the energy, but I was determined to do it. So I've got this thing which is called an energy checker.
Okay.
And it's like an extension of my hand.
Yes.
And it's like a dowsing rod.
Okay.
So when I'm holding it, it has this head that I take over the body. And when it's all in alignment, it doesn't move. But when it meets an area of resistance or negativity, it will start bouncing up and down.
I see.
Yeah, so that's it. And I know that's an area. So on my report card, I write that down. Then I move along a bit further, and it will stop bouncing again.
Okay. Okay.
And I had someone the other day, and it didn't just bounce, it went absolutely mad the other day. And I said, oh, we've got some work to do here.
So how did you come about this?
How did I come about this? It's a sad story, really. My 4-year-old grandson was in hospital with cancer, and I really wanted to do something to help. And when he's already in hospital, now he's already in the medical system. And I heard about magnetic healing, and I read this book called You Too Can Heal. And Colin Lambert says that anybody can do this. And I thought, right, if anyone can do this, I can do it.
Okay.
And I will work with him. So I learned, and I was very fortunate that for someone who's just learned to be able to practice a lot. And I was living at Ronald McDonald House and up on Starship, swapping nights with my daughter.
Yes.
So we had one night each way. And when I went down to Ronald McDonald, I would have one of the children that the mother would like a healing for, please. So I'd pull that child in overnight, and I'd just, on the spare bed in my room, I'd just do a healing, and then I'd send them back. And with children, you only need to do 10 minutes because that's all they can cope with. And the next day I'd get to ward and meet my daughter, and I'd spend some time up there, and I'd just listen. And through that day, that mum, without fail, would say, I don't know what happened last night, but he slept right through, and I got a whole night's sleep.
Wow.
You know, and I'd sort of say, oh, that was really neat. And she'd say, did you do a healing? And I'd say, yeah, I did. And so that was my validation that the work I was doing worked.
Yes.
And another night I had a lady walking round and round the island in the middle of the kitchen at Ronald McDonald House. And I sort of said, it's been a bad day on the ward. And she said, yes. And I said, well, what's your child here for? And her daughter was in the mental ward, having tried to commit suicide several times. And in his book, Colin said that most of the people in mental wards are not there because their mind is affected, it's their stomach and their hormones.
Okay.
And I said, well, this man just said this, so can we try? And she said, I don't think I could get her out at this hour of the night. And I said, no, we don't have to. With your permission, we can bring her here with her etheric body, and I can just work on her, and then we'll send her back. And so she said, okay. And she sat there and watched me, and we just did it in the lounge, so it wasn't scary. And every time I came to that girl's stomach, my hands went absolutely berserk, and I didn't know what the hell was happening. And I'm going, I don't know what's happening because I'm not doing this.
Yes.
And when we got to her head, my hands were still. And then I'd start the other side, and I'd come up, and when we got to her stomach, her hands went stupid again. My hands went stupid, and I'm busy clearing and removing and doing whatever I was being told to do. And then I got to her head, and there was nothing. So when I finished, she jumped up and down, and she said, it's not her head, it's not her head. It's okay, it's not her head. And so we sent her back, and that mum was very happy because she suddenly had an understanding, and I certainly got a lesson that night.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and so those sorts of things, being able to be on site at, you know, Ronald McDonald House there for 3 or 4 months and living there and having all those people. I know one of the mothers, there's a family there, and one mum had her daughter in there, and she said, my husband is just so uptight. And she said, he's just a changed man. Will you do a session on him? And I said, sure. So that night I called him in, and we did a session together. And next day she came and she said, I've got a new man. I've got my old husband back.
Awesome.
She said, what did you do? And I said, I just took out all the stuff he didn't need.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was just so beautiful that it works so well. So,
Wow.
but with all that, we couldn't save my grandson.
Oh,
but
I'm
I
sorry.
do know that when he passed over easily, and he went straight through. So that was another thing I learned in this process, that healing doesn't mean to fix. Healing means to put you in the best state for your highest good. And
Yes.
so our journeys are all pre-written, pre-contracted, whatever you like to say.
Absolutely.
And it's not my job to change that.
No.
My job is to do the work that needed for the highest good of that.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that very personal story about your grandson.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel a bit emotional now when you say that to me, but it's whatever you're saying about healing. Just because we have a tool or a technique and we do it for everybody else, sometimes it's not going to be the thing that we don't get the outcomes we expect to get. We just have to take that journey because it's soul contract. It's clearing karma. It's souls come to teach lessons, and especially the young ones that come and leave so young.
That's
you
the
know.
one.
So anyway, yeah.
So painful. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not easy being in this space and having to when you operate from love and all of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you. You're just an amazing lady, because to be so open to offering this to people in a place like that. You think about the opportunity that was created for all those people there and for yourself, and to discover. Interesting, right? How life has a weird way of working.
It's not one I thought was coming.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. So
I guess in my past life I was a teacher.
Okay.
And now I've been able to take my teaching skills and mix it with magnetic healing, and I can now teach magnetic healing. So
yes. So Robyn, tell me, so all these questions I've written down, we've in this conversation, we've kind of like answered a lot of them. Because I guess we're going to see that practical example of what Auric Magnetic Healing is very shortly. You're going to demonstrate for us, right? My question is, how I know that you I found you on the People's Health Alliance New Zealand, their Telegram channel.
Yes.
So I do understand. I believe that you signed up there, or you expressed interest there, because that is a place where we're creating hubs for wellness for people who can't get it in the mainstream, people who are waiting to be seen by the medical professionals. And in the meantime, we've got everybody offering these sorts of things to keep people going, etc. So how did you come across this platform, and And tell me a little bit about the PHA bits, if you've already got your hub going, etc. I know we didn't talk about that, but this is a very important factor in this. Yeah.
I don't know when I came across the PHA, but I believe in it wholeheartedly. And I can see that it's what's needed.
Yes.
And I live in this beautiful place called Athenry. And one of the people who moved in here a couple of years ago sort of said, and she's like a shaman and a massage lady, and she's a beautiful healer, and she makes beautiful teas. She said, let's just say that everyone who sells here sells to a healer. And she said, we're going to make Athenry this beautiful healing centre.
Wow.
And this is what's happened. We've got so many healers down here now. We've got this beautiful place that people are just coming to. And we've just set up a sort of like an activity or an events board, because we don't want to clash with each other. We're not into competition. We're not into and being bigger or brighter than the other ones. We're into working in together and sharing all our skills where we're needed.
Yes.
And
yes.
I'd love to start a hub, but I put a word out on the PHA and I didn't get any bite. So obviously the time's not right yet.
No.
So it will happen. And I don't want to be the driver of it, but I really want it to start.
Well, you could be the pioneer and somebody else takes off with it, right? Because quite often we are meant to generate, like this is the thing. This is why the channel is called the Great Awakening Generator, because we generate things, we put ideas into people, we give them thought patterns, and then they are the ones that see it through. They take it further. We don't necessarily have to be the ones that carry on with it, right? Yes. So I do hope, I believe, now you've piqued my curiosity. I want to come to visit Athenry. And I've been to Tauranga so many times. I've only gone off the beaten track to go to Omakaroa, but not Wahi Beach. And I need to go to Wahi Beach. I've told myself that many times, and now you've given me another reason to come along and see what it's all about. It's such a beautiful part of New Zealand, isn't it? It's an amazing part of New Zealand. So yes, I do believe that your I beg your pardon, I've just got something distracting me. I do believe that your hub will come at the right time.
Just through the Athenry Gorge, and it's only 5 minutes down the road.
Yes.
To camp and stay.
Yes, so I see that we're having some trouble with internet because there you go, you're back.
Back again, yes.
You're back again.
I was getting this garbled mess of things.
Yeah. I just suddenly had that issue with the internet. I'm not sure what's going on, but okay. So, is there anything else you want to tell us about the work you're doing? You're frozen again. You back? You back?
Yeah, the internet is unstable. Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, it's saying internet is
just
unstable.
Came back again. It's going and coming.
That's right. It's going and coming. That's okay. We keep going. If it does it again, I will just pause the recording and we come back into it. But and we'll take that space away from it. So tell me, Robyn, is there anything else before you do this demonstration of Auric Magnetic Healing? Is there anything else you would like to share with us?
Well, I think that Colin Lambert is the person I have learned from, and he's put 6 books out. Some of them are not available anymore, but he's got You Too Can Heal. He's got Magnetic Healing in All Realities and Other Realities, and he's got Healers Unlimited.
Yes.
And so all of these books are from a man who was a wallpaper hanger, who found that he had this ability to heal people. And he came from Waihi, and it started in Waihi. So I feel very privileged to sort of be able to be part of Waihi area and back doing his work.
Awesome.
And so it's people tell stories of cars being lined up bumper to bumper down the street waiting for their appointment with him.
Okay.
And I think, gosh, he was such an amazing person in his time and the work he did. Yes. And I'd just like to do some of his work, not working that hard.
That's great. So tell me about him. When did he come up with this Auric Magnetic Healing?
It's back in the 80s, and he
Okay.
died in 2006.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he had like, well, it might have been the 60s. He had about 40 years of doing it, and he went all around the world. He did a lot of work in Hawaii, and he met a lot of the people in Hawaii with their other healing treats. But he also went to England, and he was with his checkers. He went to the crop circles, and he felt the energy in the crop circles. So he talks about all that in his books too, which is really interesting because crop circles are springing up again at the moment. In
That's
the top
right, they are. That's
and
right.
so it was part of the thing that really intrigued him, this energy that's there and how to work with it.
Great. So tell me, are there many of you out there that do Auric Magnetic Healing?
There are some. Because the numbers were dwindling, I wanted to become a teacher, and in the last couple of years I've taught about 30 people.
Okay.
That's within this area. We have a lot of people who know how now. Not all of them practice. Some of them just use it for themselves. Some of them have taken it to a new level, but we still have classes, and we're very lucky that Colin's granddaughter is now running the magnetic or Auric Magnetic Healers, and she just lives here at Tanner's Point, which is the next point past Athenry.
Yes.
And so she's just trained as well to be a teacher. She had all the skills, she just hadn't done the training. So she's just done her course now, and so we've got 2 teachers right here now.
Okay.
So hopefully we can get this being much more widely known and much more available.
That's right. And empower people, just people, so that they can do it for themselves too, not just about, I want to use it for energy healing as a business, but basically, I can do this for myself. And this
for your family, if you can just check your family out and just keep your family healthy, it's fantastic.
Yeah. And so the other thing that just like occurred to me, we've got all these different healing technologies coming out at the moment. And some require, for example, the EE system has arrived in Auckland recently in the last, say, 6 weeks. I know there's one out in the Thames Way, Coromandel, not Coromandel, just I think rural Natia Thames Way. And there's one in Wellington is coming up. Christchurch is up and running. But here you are talking about something that doesn't require a big. This is another facet of healing. It's another facet where you can do it, and you can do it for yourself. And I really love that concept. And
I think the concept of energy, and all those places opening up are all just dealing with energy.
Yes.
And the fact that we have energy. I mean, when I start teaching magnetic healing, we get people to rub their hands together and then take them apart. And when you push them together again, you can feel the energy between your hands.
Always, yes.
And that's all I'm working with. And that's the simplicity of magnetic healing is just so beautiful.
Yes.
But it gets lost when people buy this machine or have to buy this expensive course or anything else. And it doesn't take money. It just takes intention.
Yes.
And acknowledging that there's something bigger out there that will guide us.
Yes. Great. So, are you ready to do your demo for us, please?
Right. I have my husband sitting over here. So I shall get my husband to come in and put him on the table. And I'll just make sure you can see.
Okay. Great. We can see the table.
Right. See the table? Right.
Yes.
Be a little careful. So this is my husband, Stuart. And
hi, Stuart.
Now, can you see me properly? Yes.
I can see you. Yes, I can see you. I'm just a little bit of the top of your head.
Start at the feet.
Okay.
So as I start at his feet, and I'm just talking to myself first, and I'm asking that I only do his blood.
Okay.
And as I come up, his blood is clean till I got to his knee.
Okay.
There's a blockage in his knee.
Okay.
Then I come up again. His heart. And that's as far as we go. We start on the other side and its toes are showing up.
Okay.
And once I know that, I put down my checker and then I start with my hands. And I have one hand as the lead hand and I have the other hand that pulls to it. And when I get to my hand, I throw it away. And when I throw it away, it goes into the ether and back to the angels or back to the universe, and it's gone. It's not here. So I just pull through like that.
Yes.
And I'm just working in the ether. I'm not touching the body. And then as you just go through, you clean the blood, and it cleans every blood vessel in the whole body.
Yes. Yes.
So once I finish that, I would then just change my vibration, because I need to change for the blood, for the bones, the organs, the tissues, and the ligaments. And then I start again. And it's telling me that his hip, I have something to do there. I come up over his hip, over his liver, over his chest. I start on the other side, up his leg. His left knee is showing up.
Yeah.
Come up. His spleen, pancreas, or somewhere there.
Yeah.
Like that. So once I've identified that, once again, I just start at the feet and work my way up. I get to his hip and I know that that's where I had to clean it. So I start feeling up here. Can you see me up here? I've got my hands up high.
You've got your hands up high, yes.
Yeah, and then I just come down, and somewhere in here, it's all silky when it's clear, but when I reach a part that's not silky, I then just clean that out. So that's something in the ether that's coming in to the physical body.
Right, okay.
That's how it's done. So I would go through and clean all of them. I'll have to do them again later, obviously. But that's how a demonstration of you don't touch and you just work from the feet to the head and you just clean out what you find.
Wow, that's awesome.
The thing I like about it most is that when you go and get a diagnosis, the people walk out of the doctor's surgery saying, oh, I've got such and such. And every time they meet someone, they say, I've got such and such. And they keep reinforcing the fact that they've got such and such.
Yes.
Whereas this one here, I don't know what it is.
Yes.
It's gone, so you haven't got it anymore.
Yep. Yeah.
And so you can't go away saying, well, she found this, that, and everything else, because it's gone.
Yes. Yes.
And that way it's not, the words are not going around in the head reinforcing this.
Yes.
That I've got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed.
Nothing.
Great.
Okay. So
okay.
Thank you, Maham.
Thank you, Stuart. What a good husband.
He gets lots of sessions, so he likes.
Yes. Awesome. So good. So if somebody wanted to use this therapy, I'll call it therapy.
Yeah.
How many times does a person need to see you?
Once again, it's different.
Okay.
People come to me when they need me. And I don't make follow-on appointments because the healing work that I do will continue for about 4 days.
Okay, right, okay.
So people won't know how they're feeling when they leave me, because some people have a healing crisis. And because I've been playing in their blood, they need to drink lots of water, because I've been fiddling in their blood vessels and all the gunky bits are floating around, and they need to drink lots of water to flush it all out.
Yes, yes.
And sometimes I've had people who sort of say that on day 3, they just felt like they had the worst flu that they'd ever got.
Okay.
And they sort of said, what do I do? And I said, just drink more water.
Yeah, flu is normally clearing out, isn't it? It's not necessarily.
And then they come back the next day and say, I feel like $1 million.
Okay, wow.
So that healing crisis has to happen so the body can get rid of all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the body feels so fantastic.
Wow.
And I've had so many people tell me that.
Yeah.
I have to tell you a funny story. I had my mother-in-law and I did a session on her, and she wasn't really okay with me doing it. And when I took her home, I said, now drink lots of water and you might have a healing crisis. Well, about 4 days later, we got a phone call. She was in hospital. She'd had a healing crisis and she'd rung the ambulance. And when I went to see her, she said, don't you ever touch me again. So I didn't.
Well,
that was proof, you know, that it just all works. Yeah,
it does, that it actually does move and shift things. That's awesome
stuff. Yeah, it moves a lot of stuff.
So where can people contact you? Tell us this verbally, and I will also put it in the description box.
Okay, I have a strange email. My name is Robyn Gordon, and it looks like Gordon, but it's G0RDON @extra.co.nz.
Great.
And I have to keep that because my son made that for me, and I don't have my son anymore, so I can't change my email address.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. And I'm at Athenry, past the hot pools at the end of the road, so it's easy to find.
Oh my goodness, hot pools! I've got to come to Athenry. I've got to come
beautiful hot pools.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
And I have my card which says Cheese Wellness Centre because Tiago was my grandson.
Yes.
So it's just, we had lots of learning through his time, so we just made a wellness centre in his name.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. Some things that come out of life experiences,
they do,
or out of painful experiences, can be so amazingly beautiful.
Well, yeah, we were never promised an easy ride, and we never promised a ride without challenges. So
no, I think we've just been told we should expect life to be like that, and therefore there's polarity. If it's not going a certain way, then you're having a bad life.
No, it's not that way at all.
Not at all. It's not at all.
No.
So Robyn, you've told us where to contact you. I just I know there was another question, but I can't remember what it is. But thank you so much for today. I am transformed, and I just learned so much from you.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today here on the Great Awakening Generator.
My pleasure.
Great. So thanks. Thank you everybody for watching. And hey, you know where to find Robyn. I'll also put it in the description box. So if you're looking to do some healing with her, tell me, do you do Zoom healings?
I do Zoom healings.
Great. Okay. So
but I don't have to do a Zoom healing because I can do the absent healing.
Yes. Yes.
It's quite interesting when you do a in-person healing, you've got so much more talking to do. You've got the beforehand talking and the after talking and the being polite during the session sort of thing. When you do the absent healings, it's so easy because you just deal with it with the job.
That's right. Yeah. And that's it. That's what the purpose is, right? To get on and make people well. So our disclaimer is that I normally do say disclaimers. When we're talking about this, we are not saying that you should forfeit any medical advice you've been given. No. This is more like things that can enhance your healing, your body in a time when maybe you're waiting for surgery, maybe you're going to go into surgery, but you're thinking, I need that added bit. I need that extra support and assurance for my body.
Yeah. And that's it's complementary. It works together.
It works together. That's what we want to say here. I was so quickly to say goodbye. I started to say goodbye when I forgot that's what I forgot I needed to say. So once again, thank you, Robyn. We'll catch you next time. Yeah. You're very welcome. Always welcome here on the Great Awakening Generator. And thank you everybody for watching. We'll catch you on the next one here on the Great Awakening Generator. Bye-bye.
Bye.